I'm going to chair this session, and I come from the Geological Survey in Denmark, and I've been dealing with Working Group 2, and Working Group 2 is how to look at some of the technical issues coming from this planning to the subsurface, and now the session today is called The Subsurface in the Urban Planning Process. I will start with my own presentations, and then we'll have 3 more presentations, of which the 1, 2, 3, there are 4 more presentations, and the 3 of them will belong to Work Group 2 or related to them. My presentation today is called Opening Up the Subsurface of the Cities of Tomorrow. And the background of this presentation is the summary report that we have done, I don't know whether you have seen it, but there has been examples of it outside. They disappeared. But as you see, also I'm not the only author. There's several other authors to this report. Work Group 2 receives the information from Work Group 1 and delivers to the Work Group 3 and 4. And Work Group 1 was, as you heard David say yesterday, they made some observations that we could work on with, and we deliver some of the results for Work Group 3, which is tools and of course also dissemination. What was observed that I have taken here today is some of the things that I think is important for me to tell you today, but there's more into the report, of course. But one of the things is that the open subsurface is important for urban development, but only considered when absolutely needed. We have heard that before. But the other thing is that the subsurface and climatic conditions in the cities varies, which means that we just can't use the same model and the same strategy for modeling and using the subsurface. We need to adapt the specific and local conditions. Then there's a need for the right information for management and planning. We don't need all data, but we need specific data. And we need the knowledge, which means decision support, methodologies, we need tools, and the data there should be adequate, which means the right type, and the timing and the form of the data should be the best one for the purpose. And very important thing was mentioned in the Work Group 1, that there was a need for systemization, and this is a key for us to work on with in Work Group 2, and we have also done that. My presentation today will contain, first of all, something about the evaluation of existing techniques and practices, because that was one of our main targets. But then I'll have an analysis and discussion, and I'll focus on 2 things that I have the time for comment, and of course a conclusion. We start with the evaluation of techniques, and we have the 2 things here. We have the geoscientific world, and we have the planning and management world. And it would be very easy if the planners just could tell us what they want, and then we could deliver. But so it's not the whole world that or most of the world of the planners, they don't know what we can deliver. So we need to have a twofold strategy, and we have had that, where we try to have the planners and management people to study and describe what they think they need, and on the other hand we have the geoscientific technical persons to study and describe what they expect they could need, and then we have some communication between them, and then we must adapt to each other, so we getting closer all the time. But that has been the strategy for us to work on with. From the very beginning, we discussed in the preparation of the project which data was relevant, and we used this big table here to have a sort of identification of all the data relevant for inventory and evaluation, starting with data management and going down to the knowledge delivery and integration. So this has been the background for the further work. Work group 2 is organized in 9 subgroups. I think about 60 persons has been involved in this work, and of course a lot of other more people, but 60 persons I think is the right number or figure for people involved in the subgroups. The first subgroup we had put down was or settled was the subsurface information and planning, which was the planner's side of it. And then we have all the technical groups: data acquisition and management, 3D modeling, visualization, groundwater thermal modeling and monitoring, geotechnical modeling and hazards, geochemistry, cultural heritage, economy, and integrated modeling. This was the groups that were doing all the different tasks, trying to get to evaluate techniques, needed techniques. And today we'll hear integrated modeling, which also is a part of work group 3 and work group 2, because Carl and Jerome is going to present something later after this, and Ingelo will tell something about subsurface information and planning, and after that today Hans de Beer will tell about his experiences or work with cultural heritage. Tomorrow we will have 2 presentations of the technical modeling and geochemistry that refers to this work group 2 work. And of course the tools, when you come see later, will also work on the work that we have delivered here. Going back to this evaluation and strategy for each topic, we have made a sort of fixed agenda, which means that the result can be taken into the web page and in the tools. So the agenda is that we want to see have an idea for the topic. What's in it for in urban context? What is the urban needs with this topic? And then we have examples of good practices and workflows. And we have key knowledge gaps, and then references. And it was a fixed. We agreed that this could be a good way of working on. So it's we have a kind of a strong organization of the work we have done. What we have observed and seen in this, I hadn't made all these squares, but, you know, The main results dealing with or deviations from normal hydrogeological mapping is that the man-made activity and deposits make the urban areas special. We have to bear that in mind. And that means the man-made activity during time, deposits, the infrastructural data, and the connection to the geology is also to be considered. And of course, we have all the scale differences. But that will, I guess that Joan and Carl will talk a bit more about that later today. The results seen from the planning side is that strategic planning content, organization, legislation, decision making, and scale is important. It's also important how the underground is used at the moment, and what is of interest for improvement in the future. And then they want access to the right specific data information, and not too many data, I guess. And then of course collaboration and communication. And Ingela will tell more about this later on today. The available techniques, we will see that there's many different solutions and no size fits all, as mentioned also by David yesterday. You'll see that there's many good examples showing important topics, and there's many workflows elaborated in cases where we can where they would be useful, and there's a key knowledge gap collection also, which is also important, and we also try to gather it. And some of the work groups has delivered a report for the topic, and I think some of them are quite comprehensive, up to 100 pages. So it's not a small work. It's actually, considering that this is all non-paid work, so it's a very good deal that costs due here, because they've got really a lot of information gathered by the groups that has worked with it. There's a report for data acquisition and management. There's one for 3D open subset modeling, geothermal modeling and monitoring, and groundwater. And we have geotechnical, we have subsurface chemistry, and cultural heritage. And then we have also a report in the summary report about the geosim and integrated modeling. Then I'll move to analysis and discussions, and I'll mention two things: the data communities, the practices, and then what's the right kind of information is. We have 4 data communities of practice that hasn't been working very well together, but they are integrated in urban area. We have the urban planning and management, as we have mentioned before, but we also have the building and constructioners system BIM. And we have environmental subsurface analysis and management, which is the model that we use. And on top of that, or on the bottom of that, we have the environmental systems that is used, for instance, connected to the water framework, directly. So far, the planning and management has been very focused on a specific area and the existing and planning land use and service. And this is very much into GIS. But mapping and modeling, considering the geology, works in another way. We work in 4D. We work with 4D information on time series and other things related to specific points, and that doesn't need to be the actual area that is considered from the start. It could be somewhere in the catchment or waterhead. So knowledge transfer across disciplines is necessary. If we deal with the area to the environment transition, the European Environmental Agency has worked some systems dealing with indicators, the MDAK reporting change, which means monitoring data, indicators, analysis, and knowledge change. They have defined that, and they have also defined the DPC framework, which links drivers, pressure, state, impact, and responses, which should be a simple political way of understanding the system. But it gives an opportunity to, in a simple way, monitor progress and impacts. Very shortly about the integrated modeling, there's no example. We were asked to do an example showing a fully integrated model, but it showed up that there was no fully example of a fully integrated model that we could use. So we have worked a bit on how can we connect the BIM and the SIM and the subsurface, and that's also what Ron and Carl will tell about. But this was necessary because we need to connect BIM and the subsurface with the underground as the first thing. Then we'll talk about the right type of information, and I've showed you this diagram before, and if we go zoom in, we'll see all the planning, possible planning items that we could deal with when integrating planning and subsurface. We are also seeing this decision making stair, and I think we can agree that decision making is very highly dependent on the collision, integration, and creation of the subsurface. What is important is the time here, because you don't do it in 1 hour, and in some cases point out that the existing maps, okay, you can make decisions, but maybe it's not enough. You need to have more data before you can make your decisions. And the systematic approach, we have to ensure in a complex picture that everything is remembered. So we need to have a process that ensures remembering the things for the planning here, the process for the nature-based geographical elements, and the urban structure and environment, the pressure and the drivers. For the planning here process, we have the planning stage, working scale, time frame, social, so things and economy, and I think you come more into that. Nature-based geographical elements that we have to take in is geology, of course, sedimentary, high rock, its ongoing expectation of the geological processes, hazards, and such things. Scale and depth, various sources of data available for mapping is also an issue that we have to deal with every time. And additionally, of course, if we talk about the water cycle, we also have to remember type of climate, water attachments, rise in sea level, expected changes in climate. And then, of course, urban infrastructure and environment, history of the urban the city, issues relevant for infrastructural development, natural risk, environmental risk, and of course also to monitor, identify, and access relevant indicators. And a systematic work is also including integration and management structure products, decision on indicators to be monitored, followed, decision on conceptual models, maintenance of data used and models used, screening procedures for sufficient data and decision foundation, and considerations about replicable handling as well. Because it would be nice if we make two investigations that we get the same result. I have to be fast now, I can see. We also have to consider the urban data cycle for planning with the sufficient data to update the database, to create, update the model. And next time we will have the application and maybe the construction, and we have to do this cycle every time to improve what we work with. And now my conclusion, it is that we have made a summary report and 6 detailed subgroup reports. We have proposed various steps towards improved precision and uptake and requisite subsurface knowledge, and ensuring its accuracy and its appropriateness. And this includes a systematic approach that is based on the crafts and tradition that planners and geoscientists have developed over time. And for this also includes that we need to access to relevant data the faster the better, and a closer collaboration between planners and geoscientists. This is what you can see I could manage to explain to you within 20 minutes. Thank you.
Any questions?
Well, I really like the presentation and the entire shell you gave. In whose hand this kind of knowledge and instruments have to be given, have to be, who is the institution or the group of people that have to manipulate this kind of entire set of information?
Now I'm only talking for myself. I think we, in some sort of way, some of the responsibility is a governmental responsibility if we want somebody to follow up and do decision making. So it's in the final end it's the state of the country. But if we go to the cities and we talk planning, then we have the people that says this is sufficient background to make decisions on. They have a responsibility in my point of view. But I don't think that people employed in the urban city, it's only the biggest cities that will have enough and resources to do this job, because if you go down to the smaller cities, you have 2 or 3 persons doing everything, and it's too complicated a task. But it's all, I also think that we need to think about it as a community responsibility, because there's also other people that can benefit of this work, and then it moves up in the hierarchy one more time, because then you have constructioners, you have road builders, you have railway builders, you have archaeologists, and you have water protection, we have sustainability thoughts, and I think it is most efficient in the long run if the data is at a data institute, as for instance TNE. That's my personal opinion, because you use a lot of work and hours every time you're going to start off with a new project. We actually use maybe a third of the budget every time on you dealing with data, and it takes a lot of time before we can do the real work that we are interested in.
Thank you. Anyone else?
If I got the question correctly, it's a very important issue, and we touched it also yesterday. And will we return to this later on to discuss it a little more in depth? I mean, who will maintain and ensure the continuity in this? Will it be the providers or the ones in need? Because we have addressed this, and maybe you will return to it shortly also.
I will, yes.
We will take some, as the ones in requiring stuff, we will take some, but hopefully this discussion is not closed. I appreciate the question.
I would gladly participate in the discussion. Very sound.